Good morning, folks. You might be wondering where I was yesterday. I read this passage yesterday and recorded it, but I didn't upload it because there was just too much that kept coming to mind, and I wanted to sit with it for a little bit and let God give me a chance to catch up to what He was putting in my heart regarding this passage. And so I decided that I would read this one again today for you all, and we would go through it. So, and we're just going to do chapter 8 today. So, this is Genesis chapter 8. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain had stopped falling from the sky. The water receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of 150 days the water had gone down. And on the 17th day of the 7th month the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. The waters continued to recede until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month the tops of the mountains became visible. After 40 days Noah opened a window he had made in the ark. He sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove could find nowhere to perch because there was water all over the surface of the earth. So it returned to Noah in the ark. He reached out his hand and took the dove and brought it back with himself in the ark. He waited 7 more days and again sent out the dove from the ark. When the dove returned to him that in the evening, there in its beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. Then Noah knew that the water had receded from the earth. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove out again. But this time it did not return. By the first day of the 7th month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up. Noah then removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry. By the 27th day of the second month of the earth, by the 27th day of the second month, the earth was completely dry. Then God said to Noah, "Come out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives. Bring out every kind of living creature that is with you, the birds, animals, and all the creatures that move along the ground, so they can multiply on the earth and be fruitful and increase in number on it." So Noah came out together with his sons and his wife and his sons' wives. All the animals and all the creatures that move along the ground, and all the birds, everything that moves on land, came out of the ark, one kind after another. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease." So that's an intense one in terms of the amount of numeric symbolism, because we have all this stuff going on with periods of time. And the first numbers that we see, we see that the waters flooded the earth for 150 days. That's the last passage of chapter 7. Now, what's curious about 150, on the first day, that was the beginning of creation, so we can say that's a beginning. On the 5th day, God created the animals in the water, so the fish in the sea, and the animals in the air, so the birds. And so we see that kind of forecasts what's coming next, which is Noah using the birds to check to see if the water has receded. In 150, there's also a 0 there, so it hasn't yet happened, but it's there. It's pregnant with the possibility. And so we see then on the 17th day of the 7th month, so 17 and 7, again, the 7 representing completion, and that 1, a new beginning. Again, in accordance with what we saw occur on the 7 days of creation in Genesis chapter 1. And let's see. And then on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. So again, the first day of the 10th month, we see this new beginning. It hasn't quite started, but it's emerging. So we see these 2 1s and this 0. Now, after 40 days, now this is a really important one, because we're going to see that all kinds of really important things happen in increments of 40 days. So we see that Moses is going to spend 40 days on the mountaintop. Jesus is going to spend 40 days in the wilderness. Noah is going to spend 40 days in this period. And this 40 days seems to represent a completion and transition. And this was what kept me from releasing this video yesterday. This 40 days hadn't been made clear to me, and in all humility and without making claims of knowing anything more than God has put on my heart for me to know. I feel like I kind of get an understanding of this now. There was a time when I was very much interested in philosophy and psychology and other things like that. And Carl Jung, if you're familiar with him, the psychiatrist, he had built a castle in his backyard. And in one of the inscriptions on the castle, he had inscribed, from 1 comes 2, and from 2 and 1, 3, and from 3 and 1 come 4 as 1. And it was actually that which came to mind that made sense of this for me while thinking about this. So, this 40 days, so if we take 4, and we take that pattern, so from 1, from God, undifferentiated and alone, comes 2. We get man and woman, and from man and woman comes 3, Christ. And from Christ and God, 3 and 1, we get the reunification of all with God. And so we get 4 as 1. So we start out, that's kind of a complicated thing, so I'm going to say it again. From 1 comes 2. From 2 and 1 comes 3. From 3 and 1 comes 4 as 1. And so from God, we get man and woman. From man and woman and God, we get Christ. From Christ and God, we get the reunification of all with God. And so that is the 4, that is completion. Now, 4D, also has this 0 in there. So that completion has occurred, but the new beginning hasn't happened yet. And so then we see the final completion, or mark of completion here, because he sends out a dove to see if the water receded from the ground. But the dove could find nowhere to perch because there was water all over the surface of the earth. So it returned, right? So Noah then waits 7 days. And he sends the dove out again. And it comes back with an olive leaf. And so again, he waits 7 days. And then he sends out the dove again. And it did not return to him. So now Noah knows that the water has receded. So we get these sevens. And then by the first day of the first month of Noah's 601st year, the water had dried up in the earth. And so we get a 1, and a 6, and a 1. So we have these 3 ones. And just like Lamech lived 777 years, and we get these 3 sevens marking the end of one epoch and the start of another. Now we have this sequence of numbers that marks the 6th day when God created animals and told them, and put them forth on the earth along with human beings. The 601st year. And we have this new beginning with the 601st. And 6 plus 1, 7. The dove flew back and forth for 7 days. He waited. The dove flew back and forth for 7 days. He waited. And then on the first day, the first month of his 601st year, we see that the waters have receded. So this is one I'm going to have to think about. Again, I still don't feel comfortable putting this out there. There still are some things that I don't have quite a handle on. Not that I will. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll put this up anyway, and you guys can watch it, and then I'll make another video of this one tomorrow. Because maybe I'm not supposed to know. That's okay. Well, anyway, I hope that everybody has a blessed day, and I love y'all, and I hope this was insightful to you in some way. I didn't even make it to the end of this chapter, but I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to give this some thought, and then we can read this one again tomorrow.